Hello students, welcome back to the English class. I'm your English teacher, Miss Rachna Chandarana, and I'm back with another learning video. Today we are going to see the part 3 of lesson number 5, that is Adventures of Little Al. In today's video we are going to do the comprehension exercises. I hope you have seen the previous two videos. In the first video we had the reading, the explanation, and the animation of the story. In the second video, we saw the new words and the word bank. I hope you understood the lesson properly, and I also hope that you have written the 55 new words in your CW and also the word bank in your CW. You had to write the new words twice and the word bank once. I hope you have done your task. Today we are going to go ahead and do the next task of the video. That is the comprehension exercises A1, A2 and A3 of lesson 5. So I hope you're ready with your book. Let us get going. Okay students, so now I want you to quickly take out your Real English Book 4 and refer to page number 29 of lesson 5, that is the Adventures of Little Al. On this page you will see three exercises, A1, A2 and A3. The first exercise A1 is choose the correct answers. The second exercise A2 is sequence the events in Edison's life. In exercise A3 we have question and answers. You will find all these three exercises on page 29. I want you to take out your book so that you can have a look at the exercises before we solve them. So quickly get ready and solve these exercises together with me. Exercise A1 and A2 can be done in your book itself. You just need a pencil. Exercise A3 has to be done in your CW. It is question and answers, and just like the previous chapters, you have to write the question first, then leave a line and then write the answer. This will make your work neat. So let's get going with the exercises. Okay. So the first exercise on page 29 is exercise A1 and it says choose the correct answer. For this children, all you need is a pencil in your hand. You can do the exercise here itself in the book. The first question is, Little Al was not allowed to go to school for some years because of. The first option is his large head. The second option is his adult brain. And the third option is poor health. Do you know the correct answer? Yes, it's very easy. The correct answer is C, poor health. So the statement is, Little Al was not allowed to go to school for some years because of his poor health. Now let's see question number 2. It says, where did Edison's father find him after he went missing one day? Now let us see the options. The first option is in a train compartment. The second option is in the barn. And the third option is in the cellar laboratory. Have you guessed the correct answer? Yes, it's very simple. It is B, in the barn. Now let us see the third question. The question says, where was Edison living when he became a newsboy? Let us see the options now. The first option is Port Huron. The second option is Detroit. The third option is New York. Now, do you remember where did Edison live? Yes, I had explained it to you while I was explaining the story. The correct answer is option A, that is Port Huron. When Edison became a newsboy, he used to live in Port Huron. I hope you are putting a tick on the correct answer. Now let us see number 4. The fourth question says, the phonograph was, the options are A, a type of telephone. Option B is a camera. And option C is a sound recorder. Now, do you know this answer? Yes, the correct answer is C, a sound recorder. Now, children, I hope you have read the whole story on your own once, or maybe twice. As I told you in the live class, you have to read each and every story at least twice for better understanding. If you have not done it, so you can do it right now. It's never too late. So go ahead and read the story 2 times for better understanding. You will be able to solve these exercises very easily then. Now let us go ahead and see the next exercise. The next exercise on page 21 is A2. It says, sequence the events in Edison's life. Now children, if you see this exercise, there are 6 statements given to us and there are bullet points. There are no numbers given. We have to add numbers to those statements in the sequence in which it happened in Edison's life. So let us go ahead and first read the statements. The first one given to us is Edison sets up a factory of inventions. The second statement given is Edison tries to hatch eggs by sitting on them. The third statement is Edison's mother withdraws him from school. The fourth statement is he sets up a laboratory in the cellar of his house. The fifth one is Edison is thrown out of the train. And the last one is Edison learns telegraphy. Now children, if you see these statements, they are not in order in which they happened actually in Edison's life. They are all jumbled up. So now we have to put a number before each statement. So take a pencil and put a number before the bullets that are given on the left hand side of your book. So let us try and do the exercises together. Let us see the answers now. The first event that happened in these statements is Edison's mother withdraws him from school. So this is number 1. Please find it in the book. It is the third statement given in your book. Edison's mother withdraws him from school. Before that statement there's a bullet point, and before that bullet point I want you to write number 1. The second event would be Edison tries to hatch eggs by sitting on them. This is the second statement out of the 6 statements that are given. So I want you to write a number 2 with your pencil before the bullet point. Number 3 would be he sets up a laboratory in the cellar of his house. This is the fourth statement that is given in the book. So I want you to write number 3 just before this statement. The fourth correct statement is Edison is thrown out of the train. This is the fifth statement given in the book. So I want you to write number 4 before the bullet point of the fifth statement in your book. The fifth one is Edison learns telegraphy. This is the last statement out of all the 6 statements that are given. So take your pencil and write number 5 before the bullet point. And the last statement, that is number 6, is Edison sets up a factory of inventions. Now if you see the exercise, the very first statement is this one. Edison sets up a factory of inventions. So write down 6 very neatly before the bullet point of the first statement given in the book. This is how you're supposed to do exercise A2 on page 29. Now, as I told you earlier, exercise A1 and exercise A2 can be done in the book itself. You need not write them in your notebook. Now, let us go ahead and see exercise A3. Exercise A3 is answer these questions on page number 29. There are 7 questions given to us, but we are going to do only 6 of them, from number 1 to number 6. Number 7 is a question that we are going to discuss in the live class. So as of now, we are going to do exercise A3 from number 1 to number 6. So get ready, and don't forget that this exercise has to be written in your CW. In your CW, on the left hand side corner, you are going to write L5, write today's date, and then on the very first line, write exercise A3 in the margin and write answer these questions. Then leave a line, copy the question, leave a line, copy the answer. Again leave a line, copy the question, and again leave a line and copy the answer. I am going to upload the answers on ERP. In case you can't find the answers on ERP, I am going to send the answers to you in the group. Please see the questions and the answers and write them down neatly in your CW. Do not forget that you have to write the questions as well as the answers. So let's get going and see number 1. The first question is, why did Edison's mother withdraw him from school? Do you remember this answer? We had discussed it in class. Yes. The answer is Edison's mother withdrew him from school after a teacher described him as addled. What was the meaning of addled? Do you remember? Addled was confused and not able to think clearly. So the answer means that Edison's mother had taken him away from school after a teacher had said that he was very confused and he was not able to think clearly. His mother did not like this and she decided to educate him at home because she herself was a teacher. So go ahead and write question number 1, leave a line and write the answer in your notebook. Let us see question number 2 now. What was Edison trying to do sitting in the barn? Do you remember? I had explained the story to you. Yes, when he went missing one day and his father had an anxious search all over, he found him in the barn, and in the barn he was sitting on a nest. In the nest he had put some eggs. They were goose eggs and hen's eggs, and he was trying to experiment and hatch those eggs and get babies out of them. Do you remember? Yes. Now let us write it down in a sentence. The answer is, in the barn, Edison was trying to hatch eggs by sitting on them. Now go ahead and write this in your CW. And do not forget to leave a line after the question and after the answer. This will make your work neat. Let us see number 3 now. Why did Edison label the bottles of chemicals poison? Now, do you remember, children? At the age of 10, he had made a laboratory in his cellar. A cellar was an underground room in the basement. It is a storeroom which is made in the basement to store things. And there, Edison had set up a laboratory for himself. He had collected many bottles of chemicals and he had put a label on them. And the label said poison. Now, do you remember I explained to you why he called them poison? Yes, he called them poison so that nobody else would handle it or disturb it. Nobody else would touch it. So that was the reason he labeled them poison. Now let us write it in a sentence. The answer is Edison labeled the bottles poison so that no one else would handle or disturb them. Let us see number 4 now. What was Edison's reason for choosing to become a newsboy? I'm sure you remember this one. Yes, I had explained it to you in the video as well as in the live class. Now, when Edison grew up and his wish to do experiments and get knowledge was so strong that he wanted to experiment more and more. And for this, he had collected a lot of bottles of chemicals and equipments. But gradually, all the pocket money that he was getting from his parents was not enough. So he decided to become a newsboy. So by becoming a newsboy, he could earn all the money that he needed for his experiments, and he could also read the newspapers and magazines for free. You remember his parents had an objection for him doing a job. But when he explained them this, they agreed to him, and then he started doing a job of a newsboy. So when we write the answer, the sentence would be, by becoming a newsboy, Edison could earn all the money he needed for his experiments. He could also read newspapers and magazines for free. So go ahead and write this down in your CW. Now let us see question number 5. How did Thomas Edison become deaf? Now, do you remember, children, when he was working in a train compartment and he was a newsboy selling periodicals, he had set up his laboratory in the train compartment. He had transferred it from his cellar to the train compartment. And if you remember, a stick of phosphorus fell down on the floor and that caused fire. And this fire had ruined the whole compartment. In fact, the whole compartment was on fire and Edison could not put out the fire. And the angry train conductor came into the compartment and he had turned out the fire and he got very, very furious and he threw Edison and all his equipments and all his chemical bottles, everything in the next station. And Edison was there lying on the platform. And when he was very, very angry, he had also boxed him in the ear. When he had boxed him in the ear in a very furious way, this had made Edison deaf. I hope you remember this. So let us write this in a sentence now. After Edison's chemicals caused a fire in the train compartment, the furious conductor of the train boxed him hard on the ear. This made him deaf. So this is how you're going to frame your answer. Let us see the last one, question number 6 now. When did Edison say, "We will begin rebuilding tomorrow"? What does this tell us about his nature? Now, do you remember, children, when Edison grew old, when he became a successful businessman and inventor, he had set up many office factories. He had a lot of factory buildings and he had employed many men to do his inventions with him. So one fine day, a few of his factory buildings had caught fire and everything got destroyed. But even the fire could not stop his enthusiasm. He went on with his experiments, with his inventions, and he did not stop. He got motivated and he said that we will start rebuilding tomorrow, even though many of his factory buildings were burnt. So let us see how to frame this answer. Edison said this after a great fire destroyed many of his factory buildings. This shows his determination to never be defeated by challenges. With this, children, we come to the end of all the 3 comprehension exercises on page number 29. As I told you, exercise A1, that is choose the correct answer, you have to do in your book itself just by putting a tick with your pencil. Exercise A2, that is sequence the events in Edison's life, has also to be done in the book itself. You just have to write the numbers before the bullets on the left-hand side of the book. Exercise A3 is what you have to write in your notebook. So for today's prep, you just have to do exercise A1, exercise A2 and exercise A3. Thank you very much for watching today's learning video. I will see you again tomorrow with another learning video. That video would be part 4 of the same lesson, that is lesson 5, The Adventures of Little Al. We will solve a few more exercises from the lesson. Till then, I want you to stay home, stay safe with your family and keep learning. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel, which I have made specially for you. The name of my channel is Rachna Chandarana on YouTube. You will find all my English videos on my channel. This is me, Miss Rachna Chandarana, signing off for the day. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.